There is a statue outside Old Trafford. It stands tall, casting a shadow over the forecourt. It is the statue of Sir Alex Ferguson, the man who built the modern Manchester United. For 26 years, he didn't just manage a football club. He controlled gravity. He took average players and made them champions. He took great players and made them legends. He knocked Liverpool off their perch. He kept Manchester City in their box. But in 2013, the devil left the building. Ferguson retired, and when he walked out the door, he took the soul of the club with him. What followed is the greatest tragedy in modern sports history. We have watched a global superpower, a brand worth billions, slowly, painfully, and publicly rot from the inside out. This isn't just a story about losing football matches. This is a story about greed, about incompetence, about a culture so toxic that it destroys everything it touches. How did the biggest club in the world spend £2 billion just to become a laughingstock? Welcome to the Theater of Nightmares. To understand the death of Manchester United, you cannot look at the pitch. You have to look at the bank account. Most football clubs are owned by people who want to win. Manchester City is a state project designed for dominance. Real Madrid is a fan-owned religion. Manchester United? Manchester United is a credit card. In 2005, the Glazer family bought the club, but they didn't pay for it with their own money. They used a leveraged buyout. They borrowed hundreds of millions of pounds from banks to buy the club, and then they transferred that debt onto the club itself. Overnight, Manchester United went from being debt-free to drowning in red ink. For the last 20 years, while Manchester City's owners pumped money in, the Glazers have taken money out. Over £1 billion has been drained from the club to pay interest payments and dividends. Think about that. £1 billion. That is 3 stadiums. That is 5 Kylian Mbappes. That is an entire academy system. Gone, wasted, burned. While the roof of Old Trafford was literally leaking water on the fans, while the Wi-Fi didn't work, while the training ground equipment was rusting, the checks to Florida kept clearing. They treated Manchester United like a cash cow. They milked it until it was dry. And when the milk ran out, they started selling the meat. But money is only half the story. The other half is how they spent the money they had left. There is a joke in European football right now. If you are a world-class player and you want to retire early, go to Manchester United. Old Trafford has become a graveyard for careers. The list of victims is terrifying. Angel Di Maria, he was the man of the match in the Champions League final for Real Madrid. He came to United, looked lost, and left after 1 season. He went to PSG and became world-class again. Paul Pogba, the most talented midfielder of his generation. He returned home for £89 million. The Pugback hashtag, the marketing videos, the Stormzy rap. But on the pitch, it was a disaster. He became the symbol of everything wrong with the club. Flashy, expensive, and inconsistent. Alexis Sanchez, he was a warrior at Arsenal. He was unstoppable. He moved to United for £500,000 a week, and overnight, he forgot how to play football. He played the piano in his announcement video better than he played on the pitch. Harry Maguire, £80 million. Antony, £85 million. Jadon Sancho, £73 million. Why does this keep happening? Why do good players become bad at United? It's the pressure of the shirt. At Manchester City, the system protects the player. If Jack Grealish plays badly, the system still works. Pep Guardiola's machine keeps moving. At Manchester United, there is no system. There is only panic. Every player is signed to be the savior. Ronaldo will save us. Casemiro will save us. Bruno will save us. But nobody can save a sinking ship alone. The weight of the history, the expectations of the fans, and the toxicity of the media crushes them. They arrive as superstars, they leave as memes. If the players are the victims, the managers are the martyrs. Since Ferguson left, 5 men have tried to sit on the Iron Throne. All 5 of them have been executed. David Moyes was the chosen one. He lasted 10 months. He looked like a frightened ghost on the touchline. The job was too big for him. Louis van Gaal was the tactician. He won the FA Cup and was fired an hour in the dressing room. Jose Mourinho was the winner. He brought trophies, he brought ego, but he saw the rot before anyone else. He famously said that finishing second with that United team was his greatest ever achievement. We laughed at him then. We're not laughing now. He called out the player power. He called out the laziness. And the club fired him to protect the players. Ole Solskjaer was the legend. He brought the vibes. He brought the nostalgia. Ole's at the wheel. But nostalgia doesn't win Premier League titles against Jurgen Klopp and Pep Guardiola. He was a PE teacher trying to teach quantum physics. And then Erik ten Hag, the disciplinarian, the man who was supposed to end the era of player power. He came in and made big calls. He benched Ronaldo. He stripped Maguire of the captaincy. For a moment, it looked like it was working. But then came Anfield, March 2023. Liverpool, 7. Manchester United, 0. The worst result in the history of the rivalry. It wasn't a defeat. It was a public execution. The players quit. They stopped running. They gave up. And that is the unforgivable sin of the modern Manchester United. They are weak. When the going gets tough, they crumble. To understand how far United have fallen, you just have to visit the city of Manchester. On the east side of the city, you have the Etihad campus, Manchester City's training ground. It's a space-age facility, the best medical department in the world, the best analytics team, the best academy pitches. It's an environment designed for one thing: winning. On the west side of the city, you have Carrington, United's training ground. Cristiano Ronaldo, when he returned in 2021, was shocked. He said in the interview, "Nothing changed. The pool, the jacuzzi, even the gym. It stopped in time. I saw things that I saw when I was 23. Think about the arrogance of that. United thought they were so big they didn't need to modernize. They thought the badge was enough. While Tottenham built the best stadium in London, while Real Madrid turned the Bernabeu into $1 billion spaceship, Old Trafford is falling down. The paint is peeling. The seats are cramped. There are rats in the kitchen. And yes, when it rains, the roof leaks. It's the perfect metaphor, a glorious historic monument that is slowly decaying because the people in charge simply don't care. So, is there hope? Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Inos have arrived. They talk a good game. They talk about best in class. They talk about knocking City off their perch. But the damage of the last decade is deep. You cannot fix 20 years of neglect in one summer. The culture of mediocrity is in the walls. The scary truth isn't that Manchester United are struggling. The scary truth is that this might be the new normal. Look at AC Milan in the 2010s. Look at Liverpool in the 90s. Giants sleep, and sometimes they sleep for a very long time. There is a generation of kids growing up right now, 10 years old, 11 years old, who don't remember Ferguson. They don't remember the treble. They don't remember the fear. They only know Manchester United as the team that loses, the team that spends £1 billion to finish 8th, the team that lives in the past because the present is too painful to look at. The giant isn't just sleeping. The giant is on life support. And unless something radical changes, unless the rot is cut out from the very top to the very bottom, the theater of dreams will remain closed, and the nightmares will continue forever.